Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
The Electoral Commission is a security zone. And in fact, under the present dispensation, the Electoral Commission has had heavy military presence. For those of you who see us when we go for IPAC meetings, you sometimes see military people providing protection for some top officials of the Electoral Commission. This means that in terms of security, this particular administration of the Electoral Commission has had accentuated security. And so it beggars belief how biometric verification equipment could have been stolen. But that is the BVD. Let's put that aside. The BVR, the Electoral Commission itself confirms that they were stolen their headquarters. Dr. Abbey, the Electoral Commission headquarters is under 24-hour CCTV surveillance. It also has state security manning the place. How should this happen? If somebody has been able to steal biometric voter registration laptops, it means that the person had a certain access to the EC infrastructure. As we speak, know the extent to which the EC IT system, as for the hardware, we know some have already been stolen. But what has happened to the soft side of it? Manipulation that may even be beyond the comprehension of the Electoral Commission. Is it the reason the EC itself is at this stage confused in this exhibition exercise? And why do I say the EC is confused? Randy, Honorable Suhuyini is an MP. He will confirm that the registers that we, the NDC, forwarded to the constituencies on pen drives, they are at variance with what the Electoral Commission is exhibiting at the exhibition centers.
Really?
Yes. And so you ask yourself, and I'm going to give you a shocker.
Yes.
You ask yourself, how come we will have a situation where the same Electoral Commission provided NDC with the hard drive, and we have even moved on regarding the postponement and the delays and all those, because we want to look forward. The election is basically 3 clear months away. So we want to move forward to solve the problem. So how come the Electoral Commission will provide the NDC with the hard drive that contains the entire register? And then we worked very hard because the Electoral Commission was very, very unfair to the NDC. We got the register less than 24 hours to the commencement of the exhibition exercise. But we worked very hard to get them to the constituencies. How come we do not have consistency? If it is about it being a composite register that is being exhibited, it should be composite. If it is disaggregated, it should be so. In this case, the anomalies other on several fronts, and I have listed them. One, you have people who go and they don't even find their names in the register at all. You have qualified voters who have been placed on the multiple list. That is, they did a multiple registration when they have not done multiple registration. You have people who actually engage in multiple registration or whose registrations were challenged successfully but are found on the register. You also have, and a very dangerous one, old transfers that were done in previous elections. The people did not transfer their votes in 2024. Their names are found on the transfer list. And talking about transfers, let me give you the shocker. Honorable Suhuyini, if you have spoken to our honorable minority leader, Dr. Kesel Atufosun, he may have informed you that yesterday it was revealed in his constituency that about 2,000 people have been transferred out of the constituency, and about the same 2,000 to about 3,000 have been transferred into his constituency. Can you imagine this? And within these transfers, they also, and thanks to Atos vigilance, he says, Doc, I keep my records. So I have the previous transfers. Some of the previous transfers are contained in these transfers. Doc, how can this be tolerated in a democracy when we only have September, October, November to an election? 3 clear months.
It's also important that we understand that it cannot be for nothing that somebody will walk to the EC and steal this machine if he doesn't have use for it. It must be useful.
Motive.
There must be a motive for stealing it. It must be useful. And if the Electoral Commission tells us today, after we have found out that the machine is in the hands of a civilian, a political party agent, the EC tells us that the only way it can be useful is when there is a collusion between the person having the machine and an EC official. It tells us that, yes, there was motive for stealing the machine, and that motive can become a reality if there's collusion. And Randy, is the EC in its current setup? That's a question you ask yourself. In its current setup, is it possible for the NPP to have people within the EC that will be willing to, connive with their other officers outside? I mean, party officers outside. Is it possible? And I'm saying yes, because we have all seen the people who have been appointed to the EC. Political party communicators. What do you call it? Patrons of the party.
Still confirming what I just told.
No, so clearly, Randy, these are curious.
No,
Randy,
some challenges to our earlier allegations.
I am saying that nobody steals.
You are forcing to link your earlier allegations with
that is
challenges that are being.
That is not useful to him. People wouldn't have stolen the machine if they didn't think that it will be useful. The EC itself has told us that that machine can be useful with collusion from an insider. And I'm saying, do we have people in the EC today who will have risen to collude with people outside in favor of the NPP? And yes, the answer is yes, because political party communicators and patrons of the NPP have been appointed to the EC. And so it is very important that we do not dismiss these curious things. And Randy, another significant matter you should not lose sight of is the fact that this voter register has been exhibited. We are all going to the polling stations. These reports that are coming from our people, the fact that, one, the register was given to us late, 12 hours before the exhibition. The fact that the register that was given to us is different from the register that is exhibited, significantly different, is known to both the NDC and the NPP. The fact that the transfers that are curious, transfers of people who did not request for transfers, are known to the NPP and they are known to the NDC. The proxy voters who were not biometrically verified but issued with proxy voter status is an issue known to the NDC and known to the NPP. The multiple registrants which in some cases, Randy, let me explain to you how some of them happened. We had the offline registration and the online registration. There were times that the registration, they had difficulty with connectivity, and they asked people to register offline. And then when the register was exhibited after the first, limited registration exercise, we didn't find their names. We were told that it will be in the subsequent register. It wasn't there. In some cases, we're holding the people who didn't have, who registered offline, but didn't have their names on the register, their list, with the EC directors, and they were asking us to let them register again because the offline was not captured online. And this fact, Randy, is known to the NDC. It's also known to the NPP. So how come that it is only the NDC that is raising issues with it? How is the NPP so comfortable with these discrepancies? Why haven't they stated a position on these matters that are known to us and known to them? Because clearly the register we were given, unless they were given a different register, the register that we were given as a party are significantly different from the register that have been exhibited. So how come they are comfortable with that? So the transfers we are seeing, you have MPP candidates in Tamale South. You have MPP candidates in Tamale, in Sanargo. You have MPP candidates in Tamale North. And these transfers have happened there. The people are saying we did
telling us that the numbers he saw were MPP transfers or NDC transfers.
So how come, and as I'm saying that, how come that the NDC is the only party that seems to be uncomfortable with these things and the MPP is not speaking?
How do you tell they are not?
Have you heard your party? We just read the letter of the General Secretary of the NDC. You have listened to the election director of the NDC. How come the NPP as a party is very comfortable with these discrepancies? But Randy, you see, I need to make this point, and I don't know how better to do it. Parliament may not have acted on the letter in the way that the NDC election directorate and others expected Parliament to act on it. But you see, we need to understand that Parliament is not a stumbling block. Parliament must be viewed always as an ally. And for example, in the case of the CI to Make Ghana card, the only document that could be used for voter registration purpose, the entire Parliament came together, both the majority and the minority, to frustrate the Electoral Commission from having its way with that. Again, the issue of the machines being stolen at the Electoral Commission, it took Parliament to get the Electoral Commission to admit to those machines being missing. And so Parliament can be a very useful ally in ensuring that we get an electoral process that is satisfactory to all of us. But Randy, when I look at what we have gone through as a country, for example, activities and events that have led to, if you like, improvements in our electoral process, I want to believe that a different approach, rather than a focus on Parliament, will give us better and faster results when it comes to our call for the Electoral Commission to be audited. I think it is a very, very crucial call. It is an important one that must be adhered to. But I think that a different approach, rather than a focus on Parliament, will give us faster and better results. Remember what happened before the introduction of the biometric register. Even after the register was introduced, against even the Electoral Commissioner at the time's will, the parties outside, especially the New Patriotic Party, did not rest on their oars. They demanded biometric verification machines also, and did so in collaboration with other civil society organizations and stakeholders. So, Randy, I will urge that from today, we must begin to engage the other political parties our election director has spoken of, who are also in agreement that there's a need to audit the Electoral Commission. And if it becomes necessary for us to address the nation together as one group of political parties, with the concerns that are, joint, and a call that is one. We must do so as soon as possible. Beyond that press conference, I think that coalition of political parties must begin to visit other civil society organizations and other key stakeholders, even including the Peace Council, to draw their attention to these discrepancies that we have noticed and the urgent need for an audit to be conducted on the Electoral Commission and especially the IT department of the EC. Beyond even engaging these civil society organizations and stakeholders, I think that with immediate effect, these parties must come together to also visit the diplomatic missions and development agencies, because they all have interest in a peaceful election exercise in this country, and let them know how these discrepancies can threaten the peace that we all are currently enjoying.